Hello, and welcome to Berkeley Food Network's new volunteer orientation video. Thank you for your interest in volunteering at BFN. BFN simply could not operate without the hard work and dedication of volunteers. This video will give you the information you need to know about our organization and provide you with what you need to know to get involved. It will include an overview of BFN's mission, the values and philosophy embedded in our work, how our organization works, all of the volunteer opportunities you can be a part of, and how to get started volunteering. Berkeley Food Network is a hyper-local and unique food assistance organization operating almost as 4 organizations rolled into one. Our undertaking is to get healthy food to people who need it through distributions throughout northern Alameda County. We do this through low-barrier pantries, home delivery, and supplying food to partner organizations who in turn support their communities. Our goal is to fill the many gaps in service, especially for those experiencing the greatest challenges to accessing healthy food, those with time, mobility, and transportation barriers. Our mission is to reduce food insecurity and poor nutrition by using innovative, community-centered solutions to build a more sustainable, resilient, and equitable food system. We value collaboration, community, equity, innovation, and sustainability in our work. BFN exists because 1 in 4 people in Berkeley and Albany are food insecure. Food insecurity is defined as not having access to sufficient food or food of an adequate quality to meet one's basic needs. Nutrition insecurity is similar, with the focus on not having access or being able to afford enough food or enough nutritious food for one's overall health and well-being. BFN's model is to provide supplemental groceries, additional food to what they would buy in the grocery store, to community members who cannot access or afford enough food. We want all of our volunteers to understand what we're looking for in a volunteer. This includes respect for self and others, respect for personal boundaries, professional conduct, having an awareness of internal bias, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, being willing to self-reflect on one's practice, to be accountable and hold others accountable, and to be aware of food insecurity. In addition, we offer trainings on trauma-informed service, de-escalation, diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and safety that we hope all volunteers will take advantage of as they are offered. We also want all of our volunteers to have an understanding of how BFN works. This is important because when volunteers or staff work with one part of our organization, it sometimes can be confusing to understand why things are done the way they are. BFN is a complex organization with lots of moving parts. For example, volunteers who work at our 9th Street Pantry sometimes wonder why the backstock for that distribution is limited to a discrete amount, rather than having access to the warehouse backstock. This can feel uncomfortable when we occasionally run out of an item at the end of a pantry. It helps to understand that the food in the warehouse is a part of a larger inventory system that serves many programs and partners. The inventory allotments that are made for each distribution and partner are based on our best estimates for what is needed each week. If we pull inventory for the 9th Street Pantry that was sourced for another distribution, then we can end up unraveling the entire system. Our staff work together to optimize each week's menu and the 9th Street Pantry inventory. The goal is to ensure that we can meet the needs of our community and partners. If you are ever confused about something, please ask the volunteer manager. We always appreciate your questions and feedback, and we want to be sure you understand your work. We are very happy to have volunteers come in to own a piece of the work with the understanding that if something doesn't make sense to you, please ask. So how does it all work? Here is a very broad overview to help you understand BFN. First, food comes into the warehouse from a variety of sources, which we will get into a bit later. Then, food goes out. For the food coming in, we'll talk about the different sourcing streams that our food comes from and what that food is as well. There are two very broad ways that the food goes out. The first is through our direct distribution programs, our pantries, our home delivery program, and the second way is through our RDO partners, or redistribution organization partners. We have about 35 RDO organizations that are our redistribution partners. These organizations come to our warehouse on a weekly or several times a week basis, pick up food, then they redistribute the food out. Some organizations also receive food from other organizations, not just BFN. 75% of our food comes from the Alameda County Community Food Bank. Food banks usually don't do direct distribution work. They support partner agencies. We are unique in that we are the first urban redistribution organization in the United States. Most counties that are less urban than Alameda County will have outposts throughout the county because it is larger and so spread out. Because Alameda County is so large, populous, and because ACCFB is all the way down by the Coliseum, we were established as a Northern Alameda County outpost. Many of the partners that pick up food from BFN also go directly to ACCFB. 20% of food is recovered from Acme Bread and Berkeley Bowl. Recovered food is food that no longer has economic value. Most of the time, it is edible, nutritious, and delicious, but may have cosmetic blemishes, or it may be bread that is a day old, as with Acme. Or it may simply be that the vendor has new inventory coming in and needs to make space for it. 5% of our food is donated or purchased when we have the budget to do so. In fiscal year 22-23, 1,600,000 pounds of food was received. Once the food is here in the warehouse, we have volunteers who support our work and make all of this happen. Food goes out in 4 different ways.
2/3 of BFN's food is distributed through our pantries. Our pantries are set up in a farmer's market or grocery store layout to allow folks to choose the food they want and need. Institutional and anecdotal research indicates that food distributions with a community member choice model is a more dignified and respectful way to distribute food to those in need. This model also reduces food waste as folks take the food they want and need and do not receive a pre-packaged bag of food that they may not want or be able to eat. We ask for folks to fill out a short registration form upon their first visit to the pantry. At minimum, community members must provide a name. Once they have signed up, they will receive a plastic card that looks like a library card with their name and unique barcode on it. We scan these cards when folks return and use data of who we are serving on an aggregate level to tell the story of our work to grantors, donors, and the broader community. This data also informs where new pantries need to be established and how much food we need to set aside for each distribution. Our largest pantry distribution is our 9th Street Pantry, which operates out of our warehouse. This is a community member choice pantry set up similar to a grocery store where folks choose bags, boxes, or carts to shop for the food they want. We have volunteers supporting the entirety of this operation, performing a variety of roles from restocking shelves in the grocery store style space, checking in pantry members, and welcoming them in. We have a monthly volunteer training that we asked everyone interested in volunteering at our pantries to attend. Our second distribution program that serves the community are 10 mobile pantries, where we work with community partners to distribute food at local schools and community spaces to provide food closer to where folks work, live, and/or go to school. These pantries are also set up in a farmer's market style, where pantry members can choose the food they need. Volunteers support these pantries by driving food to off-site locations, unloading cases of food, checking community members in when they arrive at the pantry, packing bags with food, and driving leftovers back to the warehouse. After attending the Pantry Volunteer Training, we asked that volunteers work at least 3 shifts at our 9th Street Pantry before volunteering at our mobile pantries.
The home delivery program is growing. We work with 3 delivery partners. We currently serve about 50 households. This is 4% of our distributed food. Our redistribution program is 45% of all the food we distribute. Currently, we have 30 partners. We were the first urban RDO redistribution organization. Traditionally, food banks just do the RDO part of the work, so we are a hybrid in that we do direct distributions for the community and we are in the role of the traditional food bank. Volunteer opportunities come in 2 basic types: the public-facing opportunities and the warehouse-based opportunities. These are separated in our scheduling software called Bloomerang, shown here. The public-facing volunteer shifts are located in the mobile and on-site pantries opportunity, and the warehouse-based volunteer shifts are located in the BFN warehouse opportunity. You can view all of your shifts from both opportunities using the My Shifts feature on the system. Please watch the Bloomerang scheduling how-to video to learn how scheduling works and how to sign up for shifts. For our public-facing opportunities, we have member choice pantries, both here at the 9th Street Pantry in the warehouse and at all of the neighborhood pantries. The warehouse volunteer opportunity includes all shifts that support BFN's mission but are not serving in our direct distributions. Volunteers are essential to all aspects of our operation and support 3 main warehouse areas: food recovery, our home delivery program, and operations. For our food recovery shifts, we partner with local grocery stores and wholesale markets under Senate Bill 1383 to divert surplus from waste streams. We are dedicated to procuring the highest quality foods possible for our members while also being an environmentally responsible organization. We work with our partners to ensure much of this food is the same quality you would expect to see at the grocery store. About 80% of what we received and recovered from our partners was safe to distribute, saving our lean organization the time, resources, and money required to sort and compost food unfit for distribution. Volunteers sort recovered food 4 days a week from 10 to 12. Volunteers are also needed to pick up the recovered food. This involves driving the BFN van to the businesses. For the Berkeley bulk shifts, lifting is not required. Berkeley bulk staff simply forklift the pallets into the BFN van. For the Acme bread food recovery driving shifts, lifting 50 pounds is required. All driving shifts require a DMV driving record check done by BFN in advance, as well as a driving waiver. Whenever possible, new driving volunteers observe experienced driving volunteers as a passenger as the first step. The volunteer is then accompanied by a BFN staff member for their own first driving shift. Additional training shifts are scheduled with BFN staff or an experienced volunteer as needed. For our home delivery program, we have volunteers helping with box assembly. Many community members still struggle to access healthy food due to time, mobility, or transportation challenges. BFN reduces barriers to healthy food by bringing it directly to the homes of our highest need neighbors through our home delivery program. Each box is customized to the household's dietary and lifestyle needs and includes a wide variety of local produce, high-quality proteins, and shelf-stable items. Volunteers pack the grocery boxes, and other volunteers deliver the grocery boxes directly to households who are not able to access our pantries. The volunteers packing the grocery boxes do so in an assembly line layout. Each label indicates our members' food preferences and requirements. Volunteers put the food into the boxes based on these labels. For the home delivery driving program, volunteers drive their personal vehicles to deliver these custom boxes. Deliveries are done on Wednesday afternoons. This is a great chance to get to know your neighbors and your community. Volunteers willing to do the home delivery program should be ready to make a commitment to driving for about 1 hour to the homes of about 3 to 5 neighbors. The route can be done with a friend or another volunteer co-pilot if desired. Volunteers must be reliable for this shift on an ongoing basis and be willing to train a sub for their route when they are away. The volunteer manager can help connect you with a substitute. And a valid California driver's license is required. The operations of our warehouse is the bedrock of all of our programs and requires hard work to keep it maintained, safe, and sanitary. Monday through Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m., we have warehouse wrap-up shifts. The purpose of these shifts is to clean the warehouse and the equipment and to ensure that our food distributions are safe, sanitary, and that our members are getting the highest quality and safe food. These shifts are a great workout and are critical to all of our operations. The last warehouse shift that you might be interested in is the 9th Street Pantry restocking shift. These happen on Monday and Wednesday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We staff 2 to 3 volunteers to restock the shelves of the 9th Street Pantry. These volunteers also clean and stock the refrigerator, sweep out the pantry and the welcome room, and otherwise make the space clean and welcoming. Finally, if you are interested in helping BFN through doing administrative support work, we have plenty to do in that world as well. These shifts are found in the warehouse opportunity and involve things like entering new members into our software system, making new volunteer name tags, etc. One of the easiest ways to volunteer for BFN is by being an ambassador. Volunteers are the best ambassadors for our work. You can support BFN by promoting our work in your social, professional, hobby, and other groups, as well as on social media. If you're interested in being an ambassador at outreach events and in the community, we will be having a training for ambassadors in the spring. There will be opportunities throughout the year to serve as an ambassador at internal and external events, such as BFN open houses and the Solano Stroll. Please read the monthly Volunteer Roundup newsletter to learn about these opportunities as they are scheduled. So now I bet you're wondering, how do I volunteer? The first step is to register with our Bloomerang scheduling software. You may do that by going to the BFN website, clicking on the volunteer button, and following the instructions there. If you have any difficulty registering for the software, please let the volunteer manager know. Once you've registered, you can explore the warehouse and on-site and mobile pantries opportunities. Read about the variety of volunteer shifts by clicking on dates and roles, and read the descriptions with what to expect, any prerequisites, and any training required. We hold a Pantry Volunteer Training once a month, and registration is required. The link to register is available on the Bloomerang website. You will get an email reminder before your first shift. The day of your first shift, please come to the warehouse. There is a bike rack inside the warehouse. Unfortunately, we only have street parking. The adjacent lot is owned by the City of Berkeley. We do have lockers available. Come into the warehouse, put on a name tag, and check in with staff. Any volunteer that will be handling food as a part of their work are asked to please wash your hands and put on gloves. Staff can direct you to those resources. We also want all volunteers to follow general safety guidelines. Closed-toe shoes are required for all shifts. Please be aware of the pallet jack and forklift as you are in the warehouse. Come up the ramp slowly and look both ways. Please practice safe lifting techniques by bending your legs rather than your back. If you have a minor injury, first aid kits are located in the 9th Street Pantry room as well as near the sink. Staff can direct you to those resources. For any emergencies requiring medical attention, notify staff immediately. Please familiarize yourself with the emergency exits. Please keep in mind that we do not allow eating on the warehouse floor, and unless you are scheduled for a shift that takes place on the warehouse floor, please do not wander around the warehouse. If you are serving in any of our food distributions, please do not eat while you are distributing food. We have temporary and photo name tags. All volunteers are asked to wear safety vests. The orange vests indicate volunteer on the back and are located next to the lockers. Please hang up vests after your shift, and if they are soiled, put them into the laundry bag below. The lockers are self-serve near the staircase. Please keep in mind that there is street sweeping the first Monday and Tuesday of the month. Also, keep in mind that your start time is at your scheduled time. Please do not start your work early or go onto the warehouse floor early. This is because staff need to move the food around and keep the area clear. If you do come early, please wait in the community room. If you need any resources related to your volunteer work, there are many available on the Bloomerang website as well as via email. The Volunteer Handbook outlines the volunteer agreement, the roles and requirements for volunteering, provides an overview of our pantries, and safety information. Each month, volunteers will receive the Volunteer Roundup email newsletter. Please be sure to read that, as it contains important information and updates related to your volunteer work. We also have trainings once a month for pantry volunteers and ask that any volunteer wanting to participate in our pantries attend one. The registration link is on the Bloomerang page of our website. Staff are always resources for volunteers as well. Of course, the volunteer manager and any staff that you work with. Please keep in mind that lead volunteers for each shift serve as the primary liaison with staff. Thank you so much for your interest in volunteering. Be sure to keep in touch with the volunteer manager, reach out for support whenever you need it, and send the volunteer manager your feedback. We appreciate your support and can't wait to roll up our sleeves with you.